Skinwalkers of the Oregon Trail, the journals Boise tried to hide. Chapter 1. The Attic's Secrets. The wind howled outside, making the old wooden house creak and groan. Clara, a young journalist with a penchant for the mysterious, had just moved into her new home in Boise, Idaho. The house, with its Victorian architecture and ivy-covered walls, had a charm that had instantly drawn her in. But as she settled in, a series of peculiar noises from above caught her attention. She paused, her unpacking momentarily forgotten. The noises seemed to be coming from the attic. Curiosity piqued, Clara decided to investigate. The narrow staircase leading to the attic was covered in a thick layer of dust, indicating that no one had been up there in years. As she reached the top, she was met with a dimly lit space filled with old furniture, trunks, and cobwebs. But what caught her attention was a peculiar, ornate chest, locked and slightly ajar. The chest seemed out of place amidst the other mundane items. With a mixture of excitement and trepidation, Clara approached the chest. To her surprise, it wasn't locked. Inside, she found a series of old, dusty journals. The leather-bound books looked ancient, their pages yellowed with age. The first journal she picked up had an inscription, "To those who seek the truth about the Oregon Trail." Intrigued, Clara began to read. The journal entries detailed the experiences of an old man who seemed to have dedicated his life to researching the Oregon Trail. But these weren't just historical accounts. They hinted at dark, sinister occurrences. Tales of lost travelers, mysterious shadows, and chilling encounters filled the pages. The word Skinwalker appeared repeatedly, often accompanied by sketches that sent shivers down Clara's spine. As she delved deeper into the journals, Clara felt an inexplicable pull. The stories seemed too real, too vivid to be mere fabrications. She felt as if the old man was speaking directly to her, urging her to uncover the truth. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew through the attic, extinguishing the candle she had brought with her. In the darkness, Clara thought she saw a fleeting shadow, and a soft whisper reached her ears, "Seek the truth, but beware the path you tread." Heart racing, Clara quickly gathered the journals and made her way downstairs. The house seemed different now, as if it held secrets that were waiting to be uncovered. Clara knew she was on the brink of a mystery that could change her life forever. She felt a deep connection to the old man and his research, and she was determined to retrace his steps, no matter where they led. That night, as Clara lay in bed, the whispering winds outside seemed to carry voices from the past, beckoning her to embark on a journey that would take her deep into the heart of the Oregon Trail and its haunting legends. The adventure had just begun, and Clara knew that she was about to uncover secrets that Boise had tried to hide for centuries. Chapter 2. Whispers of the past. The morning sun streamed through the curtains, casting a warm glow over Clara's room. She awoke with a start, the weight of the previous night's discovery pressing on her mind. The journals, with their cryptic tales and sketches, beckoned her. But first, she needed to know more about the old man who had once lived in her house and penned those entries. Clara decided to start her investigation at the local library. The Boise Historical Archives, a quaint building with ivy-covered walls, seemed like the perfect place to dig into the past. As she entered, the musty scent of old books filled her nostrils. She approached the front desk, where a bespectacled librarian named Mrs. Haversham sat. "Good morning," Clara began. "I recently moved into a house on Elm Street, and I found some journals that belonged to the previous owner. I was hoping to find out more about him." Mrs. Haversham's eyes widened slightly, and she exchanged a glance with another librarian. "Oh, dear," she murmured. "You must be talking about Mr. Nathaniel Gray." Clara's interest piqued. "Yes, that's the name inscribed in the journals. Can you tell me more about him?" Mrs. Haversham hesitated. "I'm not sure how much I can help. People around here don't talk much about Mr. Gray or his research. It's complicated." Clara pressed on. "Why is that? What was so controversial about his work?" The librarian sighed. Mr. Gray was obsessed with the Oregon Trail, especially the darker aspects of its history. He believed in legends and myths that most of us dismissed. His research led him down paths that many in Boise found unsettling. Clara could sense the unease in Mrs. Haversham's voice. "What kind of legends?" she probed. The librarian leaned in, her voice dropping to a whisper. "Skinwalkers, dear. He believed that they haunted the Oregon Trail, preying on lost souls." Clara felt a chill run down her spine. The word, Skinwalker, echoed in her mind, a reminder of the journal's haunting tales. "Thank you, Mrs. Haversham," she said, her voice shaky. "I'll continue my research." That night, as Clara settled into bed, her thoughts were consumed by the mysteries of the Oregon Trail and Mr. Gray's obsession. As sleep overtook her, she found herself transported to the vast prairies of the trail. The dream was vivid, the landscape stretching out endlessly before her. She could hear the distant cries of travelers and the rumbling of wagon wheels. Suddenly, a soft glow caught her eye. A shimmering figure, almost ethereal in nature, floated towards her. The figure, a sprite with delicate wings and an aura of light, introduced herself as Lysa. "I've been waiting for you, Clara," Lysa whispered, her voice melodic. "The trail holds secrets that you are destined to uncover." Clara, although taken aback, felt an inexplicable trust towards the sprite. "Why are you here, Lysa?" Lysa's eyes held a deep sadness. "I was once a traveler on the Oregon Trail, but fate had other plans. I'm here to guide you, to help you uncover the truth that Mr. Gray sought." Clara felt a mix of excitement and fear. "The Skinwalkers, are they real?" Lysa nodded gravely. "Very real, and very dangerous. But with my guidance, you can navigate the perils of the trail and uncover its mysteries." As dawn broke, Clara awoke with a start. The dream, though surreal, felt incredibly real. She could still feel the presence of Lysa, the sprite who had promised to guide her. Determined to delve deeper into the mysteries of the Oregon Trail and the enigmatic Mr. Gray, Clara knew she had embarked on a journey that would change her life forever. With Lysa by her side, she felt ready to face whatever secrets the trail held. The whispers of the past were calling, and Clara was ready to answer. Chapter 3. The first encounter. The morning sun cast long shadows on the ground as Clara, clutching the first of Mr. Gray's journals, made her way to a location he had marked with an urgent red cross. The coordinates led her to a secluded clearing just off the Oregon Trail, surrounded by dense woods. The air was thick with tension, and every rustle of the leaves made Clara's heart race. As she stepped into the clearing, she noticed a circle of ancient-looking stones, each engraved with symbols that seemed to dance and shift when looked at directly. The atmosphere was electric, and Clara could feel the weight of countless years and untold stories pressing down on her. Suddenly, a distant howl echoed through the woods, sending a shiver down her spine. Before she could react, a figure emerged from the tree line. At first glance, it appeared to be a man, but as she watched in horror, his form began to twist and contort. His limbs elongated, his face morphed, and in a matter of moments, where the man once stood, there was now a creature, a skinwalker. Its eyes, a deep shade of yellow, locked onto Clara with an intensity that paralyzed her with fear. From the corner of her eye, Clara saw a familiar shimmer. Lysa, the sprite from her dream, materialized beside her. "Stay still," Lysa whispered, her voice urgent. "They sense fear." As the skinwalker approached, Lysa began to speak, her voice soft yet commanding. "The skinwalkers are ancient beings, Clara. They were once humans who, through dark rituals and forbidden magic, transformed into these creatures. They are bound to the Oregon Trail, a place of power and history." Clara, her eyes fixed on the approaching creature, managed to ask, "What do they want?" Lysa's gaze darkened. "They seek something, an artifact of great power that is believed to be hidden along the trail. It's said that whoever possesses it can control the skinwalkers." The skinwalker, now mere feet away, circled Clara, its gaze never leaving hers. Its presence was overwhelming, a mix of raw power and ancient malice. Clara could feel its hunger, its desire for the artifact, and she realized with a jolt of fear that it believed she had it. As the creature lunged, Lysa intervened, her form glowing brightly. She chanted words in a language Clara didn't recognize, and a barrier of light formed around them. The skinwalker recoiled, its howls of frustration echoing through the clearing. "Run!" Lysa urged, pushing Clara towards the woods. Heart pounding, Clara sprinted, the howls of the skinwalker growing fainter as she put distance between herself and the clearing. Lysa, her energy drained from the confrontation, floated beside her, guiding her through the dense forest. After what felt like hours, they reached a safe spot. Clara, out of breath and shaken, turned to Lysa. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice trembling. "I don't know what I would have done without you." Lysa, her glow dimmer now, nodded. "The trail is dangerous, Clara. The skinwalkers are just one of the many threats you'll face. But remember, you're not alone. I'll be with you every step of the way." As the two of them made their way back to Boise, Clara felt a mix of fear and determination. The encounter with the skinwalker had been a stark reminder of the dangers she would face. But with Lysa by her side and the journals to guide her, she was ready to uncover the mysteries of the Oregon Trail and the secrets Boise had tried to hide. Chapter 4. The historian's tale. The sun was beginning to set as Clara made her way to the Boise Historical Society, a grand old building with tall windows and a stately facade. She had been directed here by a local who mentioned that an old historian, Mr. Elias Mitchell, might have information about the journals and the mysteries of the Oregon Trail. As Clara entered the building, she was met with the scent of old books and polished wood. She approached the front desk and inquired about Mr. Mitchell. The receptionist, a young woman with a friendly smile, directed her to the back room where the historian was said to be engrossed in his research. Pushing open the heavy wooden door, Clara found herself in a dimly lit room filled with shelves of ancient books and artifacts. At a large oak desk sat an elderly man, his white hair neatly combed back, engrossed in a manuscript. Clearing her throat, Clara introduced herself and explained her reason for the visit. Mr. Mitchell looked up, his sharp blue eyes studying her intently. "Ah, the journals," he murmured. "I've been expecting you." Taken aback, Clara asked, "How did you know I'd come?" Mr. Mitchell sighed. Word travels fast in a small town like Boise. Besides, those journals have a way of drawing people in. He motioned for Clara to sit and began to share tales of travelers who had ventured onto the Oregon Trail, many of whom had mysteriously vanished without a trace. "The trail," he said, "is a place of both wonder and danger. Many have sought its secrets, but few have returned to tell the tale." As the evening wore on, Mr. Mitchell spoke of Skinwalkers, echoing Lysa's warnings. "They are not to be trifled with," he cautioned. "Especially now, when they are in search of the artifact." Clara, curiosity piqued, asked, "Why are you so familiar with the journals and the tales of the trail?" The historian hesitated, his gaze distant. "The man who wrote those journals, Nathaniel Gray, was my brother." Clara gasped, taken aback by the revelation. But why did he delve so deeply into the mysteries of the trail? Mr. Mitchell's voice was heavy with emotion. Nathaniel was always drawn to the unknown. He believed that by uncovering the secrets of the trail, he could protect future travelers from the dangers that lurked there. But in his quest for knowledge, he got too close to the Skinwalkers and paid the price. A soft glow caught Clara's eye, and she turned to see Lysa floating beside her. The Sprite looked at Mr. Mitchell with a mixture of sadness and recognition. "You knew him, didn't you?" Clara asked Lysa. Lysa nodded, her voice soft. "I did. Nathaniel and I crossed paths on the trail. He saved me from a Skinwalker, and in return, I shared with him the knowledge I had gathered over the years." Clara, piecing the story together, realized the depth of the connection between Lysa and the Gray brothers. "So, you've been guiding those who seek the truth about the trail for years?" Lysa nodded. "It's my way of repaying the kindness Nathaniel showed me. And now, I'm here to guide you." The weight of the revelations hung heavily in the room. Clara, realizing the dangers that lay ahead, felt a renewed sense of determination. With Lysa by her side and the guidance of Mr. Mitchell, she was ready to face the challenges of the Oregon Trail and uncover its deepest secrets. As she left the Historical Society, the night air cool against her skin, Clara felt a mix of fear and excitement. The journey ahead was fraught with danger, but she was not alone. The whispers of the past were guiding her, and she was determined to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. Chapter 5. The Sprite's bond. The night was still, the only sound being the soft chirping of crickets and the distant hoot of an owl. Clara and Lysa sat on the porch of Clara's Boise home, the dim light from a lantern casting flickering shadows around them. For a while, neither spoke, each lost in their thoughts. Finally, Clara broke the silence. "Lysa," she began hesitantly, "who or what are you, exactly?" Lysa looked at Clara, her luminescent eyes reflecting a depth of emotion. "I was once like you," she began, her voice soft and melodic. "Human, with dreams and aspirations. My name was Eliza, and I was a traveler on the Oregon Trail." Clara leaned in, captivated. "What happened?" Lysa took a deep breath, as if steeling herself for the tale ahead. "It was a time of exploration and adventure. My family and I were part of a wagon train, seeking a better life out west. But the trail was fraught with dangers, both natural and supernatural. She paused, her gaze distant. One evening, as we camped near a river, I wandered off, drawn by the beauty of the setting sun. Unbeknownst to me, I had ventured into a sacred grove, a place where the veil between worlds was thin. Clara listened intently, hanging on to every word. I was approached by a skinwalker, Lysa continued. But this one was different, more powerful, ancient. It spoke to me, not in words, but in visions. I saw the history of the trail, the souls lost, the dark rituals. And then, in a blinding flash of light, I was transformed. Tears glistened in Lysa's eyes. I became a sprite, bound to the trail, a guardian of its secrets. My human life, my family, everything I once knew was lost to me. Clara, moved by the tale, reached out, her fingers passing through Lysa's ethereal form. "I'm so sorry," she whispered. Lysa smiled, a sad, wistful smile. "It's been a long time since I've shared my story. But I wasn't alone. Nathaniel, the old man whose journals you found, he discovered me during one of his expeditions. Together, we documented the Skinwalkers, hoping to protect future travelers." Clara felt a rush of emotions. Sympathy for Lysa's lost humanity, admiration for her and Nathaniel's bravery, and a burning desire to continue their mission. "Lysa," she said determinedly, "I want to help. I want to uncover the truth about the Skinwalkers and protect others from their menace." Lysa nodded, her form glowing brighter. "I knew you were special, Clara. Together, we can continue the work Nathaniel and I started." The two of them sat in silence for a moment, united in their purpose. Finally, Lysa spoke up. "There's a place, the most haunted location on the trail. It's where the Skinwalkers are most active, and where the artifact they seek is believed to be hidden." Clara felt a shiver of anticipation. "Let's go," she said, her voice filled with determination. Lysa nodded. "Prepare yourself, Clara. The journey ahead will be fraught with danger. But with courage and determination, we can uncover the secrets of the Oregon Trail and put an end to the Skinwalkers' reign of terror." As the first light of dawn began to break, Clara and Lysa set off, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The bond between them was stronger than ever, forged by shared purpose and a deep understanding of each other's pasts. The trail awaited, and they were ready to uncover its mysteries. Chapter 6. The Forgotten Village. The sun was high in the sky as Clara and Lysa made their way through the dense forest, following the coordinates mentioned in Nathaniel's journals. Birds chirped overhead, and the wind rustled the leaves, but an underlying tension permeated the air. After hours of trekking, the duo stumbled upon a clearing. Before them lay the remnants of what once must have been a bustling village. Now, it was a ghost of its former self, with dilapidated huts, overgrown vegetation, and an eerie silence that spoke of long-forgotten tales. Clara, her journalist instincts kicking in, began to explore. "This must be the village Nathaniel wrote about," she murmured, taking in the ancient totems and symbols carved into the wooden structures. Lysa, floating beside her, nodded. This place was once a thriving community, but it fell victim to the Skinwalkers' wrath. As they ventured deeper into the village, they discovered remnants of rituals, circles of stones, charred wood, and animal bones. In the village center stood a large stone altar, stained with what looked like dried blood. The symbols carved into it matched those found in the journals. Drawn to the altar, Clara reached out to touch it. The moment her fingers made contact, she was engulfed in a vision. She saw the village in its prime, with children playing and villagers going about their daily tasks. But then, darkness descended. Skinwalkers invaded, their forms shifting and contorting as they wreaked havoc. The villagers tried to defend their home, using rituals and symbols to ward off the creatures, but they were outnumbered. The vision ended with the village engulfed in flames, its inhabitants either captured or in hiding. Gasping, Clara pulled her hand back, the weight of the vision pressing down on her. Lysa, sensing her distress, floated closer. "Are you all right?" she asked, concern evident in her voice. Clara nodded, taking deep breaths to calm herself. "I saw the village's last days. The Skinwalkers, they're relentless." Before Lysa could respond, a chilling howl echoed through the village. The duo turned to see a group of Skinwalkers emerging from the forest, their yellow eyes fixed on Clara. Without a second thought, Clara and Lysa began to run, darting between huts and overgrown paths, trying to put as much distance between themselves and their pursuers. The Skinwalkers, with their supernatural speed, were closing in fast. As they neared the village's edge, Lysa, drawing on her powers, created a barrier of light, momentarily blinding the Skinwalkers and giving them a chance to escape. They didn't stop running until they were well away from the village, the howls of the frustrated Skinwalkers fading in the distance. Panting and shaken, Clara turned to Lysa. "That was too close," she whispered. Lysa nodded, her form dimmer from the exertion. "The village," she began, "holds the key to the Skinwalker's power. The rituals and symbols you saw were the villagers' attempts to harness that power and protect themselves. But they were unsuccessful." Clara, realization dawning, said, "So, if we can decipher the rituals and symbols, we can potentially control the Skinwalkers." Lysa nodded. "It's a dangerous path, but it might be our only chance to put an end to their reign of terror." Determined, Clara looked back at the village, now hidden by the trees. "We need to go back, Lysa. We need to uncover the secrets of the village and use them to our advantage." Lysa, her resolve strengthened by Clara's determination, agreed. "Together, we can do this." As the sun began to set, casting long shadows on the ground, Clara and Lysa made their way back to Boise, ready to delve deeper into the mysteries of the forgotten village and the power it held. The journey ahead was fraught with danger, but they were united in their purpose and determined to succeed. Chapter 7. The second journal. Back in the safety of her Boise home, Clara carefully opened the second of Nathaniel's journals. The pages, yellowed with age, were filled with meticulous notes, sketches, and annotations. As she delved deeper into the writings, the origins of the Skinwalkers began to unfold before her. The journal detailed ancient rituals and ceremonies, tracing the Skinwalkers' lineage back to a time when the Oregon Trail was still uncharted. A sect of powerful shamans, seeking to harness the energies of the land, had performed forbidden rites, binding their souls to the trail and transforming into the fearsome creatures known as Skinwalkers. As Clara continued reading, she came across a detailed sketch of an artifact, a pendant with a shimmering stone at its center. The notes described it as the heart of the trail, a powerful relic that could control the Skinwalkers and amplify the user's abilities. Lysa, who had been floating nearby, glanced at the sketch and paled. That artifact, she whispered, is more dangerous than you can imagine. In the wrong hands, it could wreak havoc. Clara looked up, concern evident in her eyes. But if we find it, we could use it to protect the town and put an end to the Skinwalkers' reign. Lysa hesitated, her form flickering with unease. It's not that simple. The artifact is bound to the trail, and its power is unpredictable. Seeking it out could put us in even greater danger. Before Clara could respond, a chilling howl echoed outside. The duo exchanged a worried glance and cautiously approached the window. In the moonlit yard stood a Skinwalker, its yellow eyes fixed on the house. But this one was different. It exuded an aura of intelligence and purpose. To Clara's surprise, the creature spoke, its voice a raspy whisper. "Seeker of truths, tread carefully. The path you're on is fraught with peril." Clara, her journalist instincts kicking in, pressed on. "Who are you? Why are you here?" The Skinwalker, its form shifting and shimmering, replied, "I am a guardian of the trail, bound by ancient pacts. The town of Boise is not what it seems. There are forces at play, conspiracies that run deep. The artifact you seek is but a piece of a larger puzzle." Lysa, her form glowing protectively, interjected, "What do you want?" The Skinwalker's gaze shifted to the Sprite. "You know the dangers of the artifact, Spirit. Protect the Seeker, for the challenges ahead are greater than she can imagine." With that, the creature turned and vanished into the night, leaving Clara and Lysa in stunned silence. After a moment, Clara spoke up, determination evident in her voice. "We need to find the artifact, Lysa. It's the key to everything." Lysa nodded, her resolve strengthened by the Skinwalker's warning. "But we must be cautious. The town of Boise holds secrets, and we need to tread carefully." As the night deepened, Clara and Lysa pored over the journals, piecing together the clues and preparing for the challenges ahead. The journey was far from over, and the mysteries of the Oregon Trail awaited. Chapter 8. Betrayal in Boise. The morning sun cast a golden hue over Boise as Clara made her way to the Historical Society. The Skinwalker's cryptic warning about the town and its secrets weighed heavily on her mind. She couldn't shake off the feeling that Mr. Elias Mitchell, the historian, knew more than he was letting on. Pushing open the heavy wooden doors, Clara found Mr. Mitchell engrossed in a manuscript, just as she had during their first meeting. Without preamble, she confronted him. "What aren't you telling me, Mr. Mitchell? What do you know about the Skinwalkers and the artifact?" The historian looked up, his sharp blue eyes meeting Clara's determined gaze. For a moment, there was silence. Then, with a heavy sigh, Mr. Mitchell began to speak. "Many years ago," he began, "before Nathaniel began his research, I too was drawn to the mysteries of the Oregon Trail. My curiosity led me to a fateful encounter with the Skinwalkers." He paused, his gaze distant as he recalled the painful memories. "I lost someone dear to me that day. The Skinwalkers took her, and I've been searching for answers ever since." Clara, taken aback, softened her stance. "I'm sorry," she whispered. Mr. Mitchell nodded, his voice filled with emotion. "The Skinwalkers are led by a powerful leader, a creature more ancient and cunning than the rest. He seeks the artifact to amplify his powers and dominate the trail." Clara, piecing the story together, realized the gravity of the situation. "We need to find the artifact before he does." Before Mr. Mitchell could respond, the doors to the Historical Society burst open. In the doorway stood a figure Clara had considered a trusted ally, the young receptionist from her previous visits. With a sinister smile, the receptionist spoke, her voice dripping with malice. "Looking for this?" She held up the pendant, the heart of the trail, its stone shimmering in the morning light. Lysa, sensing the danger, materialized beside Clara, her form glowing protectively. "How did you? Question mark quote. She began, but the receptionist cut her off. "I've been watching you," she hissed. "The Skinwalkers have eyes everywhere." Before Clara or Lysa could react, the receptionist chanted words in a language neither recognized. A dark mist enveloped the room, and when it cleared, Clara and Lysa found themselves bound and surrounded by Skinwalkers, their yellow eyes gleaming with anticipation. The receptionist, her form now shifting and contorting, revealed her true nature as a Skinwalker. "Take them to the lair," she commanded. As Clara and Lysa were dragged away, Mr. Mitchell's voice echoed through the room. "Be careful, Clara. The leader is not to be underestimated." The journey to the Skinwalker's lair was a blur for Clara. The dense forest gave way to a series of underground tunnels, their walls adorned with ancient symbols and carvings. Finally, they were thrown into a dimly lit chamber, the air thick with tension. Lysa, her energy drained from the confrontation, floated weakly beside Clara. "We need to find a way out," she whispered. Clara nodded, her mind racing. The weight of their situation pressed down on her, but she was determined to escape and uncover the truth about the Skinwalkers, the artifact, and the town of Boise's involvement. As the two of them began to formulate a plan, the chamber's doors opened, revealing the Skinwalker leader. His presence was overwhelming, a mix of raw power and ancient malice. Clara knew that their greatest challenge lay ahead, and she was ready to face it head-on. Chapter 9. The lair's depths. The chamber was cold, the walls lined with jagged rocks that seemed to absorb the dim light. Clara could feel the oppressive energy of the place, a stark contrast to the vibrant spirit of the Oregon Trail she had come to know. Lysa, usually a beacon of light, now appeared dim, her form flickering weakly. The Skinwalker leader, a towering figure with piercing yellow eyes, approached them. "Welcome to our sanctum," he hissed, his voice echoing through the chamber. "You've been quite the thorn in our side, Clara." Clara, summoning her courage, met his gaze. "What do you want with the artifact? What are you planning?" The leader chuckled, a sound that sent shivers down Clara's spine. "The artifact, the heart of the trail, is the key to amplifying our powers. With it, we can extend our reach beyond the trail, bringing the entire world under our dominion." As he spoke, Clara noticed other figures in the chamber, ethereal and translucent. Among them, she recognized the spirit of the old man, Nathaniel, his form bound in chains of dark energy. Nathaniel's eyes met Clara's, filled with sorrow and regret. "I tried to stop them," he whispered, his voice barely audible. "But they were too powerful." Lysa, despite her weakened state, floated closer to Clara. "We need to find a way out," she murmured. "The ritual they're planning will make them unstoppable." Clara nodded, her mind racing. She recalled the symbols and rituals mentioned in the journals and realized that they might hold the key to stopping the Skinwalkers. As the leader continued to monologue about their grand plans, Clara discreetly communicated with Nathaniel. "Is there a way to disrupt the ritual?" she asked. Nathaniel nodded, his form shimmering with hope. The ritual requires a balance of energies. If we can introduce a counter-energy, we can disrupt it. Clara's eyes widened in realization. Lysa, your energy, it's the opposite of theirs. If we can amplify it. Lysa nodded, understanding dawning. We can counteract the ritual. But we need the artifact to do it. The two of them, with Nathaniel's guidance, quickly devised a plan. Clara would distract the Skinwalkers, allowing Lysa to retrieve the artifact and use its power to amplify her energy. Taking a deep breath, Clara stepped forward, drawing the attention of the Skinwalker leader and his minions. You may have captured us, she declared, but you'll never succeed. The spirit of the Oregon Trail is stronger than you'll ever be. The leader, enraged, lunged at Clara, but she was prepared. Using a talisman she had found in the journals, she created a barrier of light, momentarily blinding the Skinwalkers. Seizing the opportunity, Lysa darted towards the artifact, her form glowing brighter as she drew closer. With a burst of energy, she retrieved the pendant, its stone shimmering with power. The chamber was filled with a blinding light as Lysa channeled her energy through the artifact, creating a wave of pure, radiant energy that swept through the lair. The Skinwalkers howled in pain, their forms disintegrating under the onslaught. The leader, his power diminished, retreated into the shadows, vowing revenge. As the light faded, Clara and Lysa found themselves surrounded by the freed spirits, including Nathaniel. Thank you, he whispered, his form beginning to ascend. You've saved the trail and its legacy. Clara, exhausted but elated, embraced Lysa. We did it, she murmured. Lysa nodded, her form now brighter than ever. Together, we can overcome any challenge. The two of them, united in their purpose and strengthened by their bond, made their way out of the lair, ready to continue their journey and protect the Oregon Trail from any future threats. Chapter 10. The Great Escape. The aftermath of Lysa's radiant energy left the Skinwalker lair in disarray. The once oppressive chamber now pulsed with a renewed energy, the spirits previously bound now free and swirling around Clara and Lysa. Among them, Nathaniel's spirit stood out, his ethereal form emanating a soft glow. Clara, realizing the potential of their newfound allies, turned to Lysa. Can we communicate with them? Can they help us retrieve the artifact? Lysa nodded, her form still weakened from the earlier confrontation. Yes, but we must be quick. The Skinwalker leader will return, and he'll be more powerful than ever. With Lysa's guidance, Clara reached out to the spirits, her mind connecting with theirs. The spirits, grateful for their liberation, agreed to help. Together, they devised a plan. The spirits, led by Nathaniel, created a diversion, their forms swirling and merging, creating a vortex of energy that drew the attention of the remaining Skinwalkers. Seizing the opportunity, Clara darted towards the chamber's center, where the artifact lay. As she reached out to grab the pendant, a chilling howl echoed through the chamber. The Skinwalker leader, his form larger and more menacing than before, emerged from the shadows, his yellow eyes fixed on Clara. With the artifact in hand, Clara turned to face him, determination burning in her eyes. This ends now, she declared. The leader, his voice dripping with malice, responded, You may have the artifact, but you'll never leave this place alive. A climactic battle ensued, with Clara using the artifact's power to fend off the Skinwalker leader's attacks. The chamber was filled with flashes of light and dark, the two forces clashing in a dance of power and will. As the battle raged on, Lysa, realizing the danger Clara was in, made a fateful decision. Drawing on the last of her energy, she merged with the artifact, amplifying its power. The chamber was filled with a blinding light as Lysa's energy, combined with the artifact's power, created a force field that repelled the Skinwalker leader, sending him crashing into the chamber's walls. Clara, realizing what Lysa had done, cried out in anguish. "Lysa! No!" The Skinwalker leader, weakened but not defeated, took advantage of Clara's distraction and made his escape, vowing revenge. As the dust settled, Clara, tears streaming down her face, cradled the artifact, Lysa's essence now a part of it. "I promise," she whispered, "I'll find a way to bring you back." With the artifact in hand and the spirits by her side, Clara made her way out of the lair, determined to continue her journey and honor Lysa's sacrifice. The battle was won, but the war was far from over. Chapter 11. The aftermath. The sun cast a warm glow over Boise as the town slowly returned to its usual rhythm. The streets buzzed with activity, children played in the parks, and shops opened their doors to eager customers. To the casual observer, it seemed as though the events of the past few weeks had never occurred. But for Clara, the world had shifted on its axis. The once ambitious journalist, who had moved to Boise in search of a fresh start, now bore the weight of knowledge that few could fathom. The Skinwalkers, the artifact, and Lysa's sacrifice had changed her, forging her into a guardian of secrets that the world wasn't ready to know. One evening, as Clara sat in her study, poring over Nathaniel's journals, a knock on the door interrupted her thoughts. Opening it, she was met with a sight that took her breath away. Standing before her was Lysa, but not the ethereal Sprite she had come to know. Lysa was now human, her form solid and tangible, her eyes filled with a mix of wonder and confusion. "Lysa?" Clara whispered, disbelief evident in her voice. Lysa nodded, a smile playing on her lips. "It seems the artifact's power, combined with my sacrifice, has given me a second chance." The two embraced, tears of joy streaming down their faces. The reunion was bittersweet, for while Lysa had returned, the challenges ahead were far from over. Over the next few days, Clara and Lysa, now bound by a bond deeper than friendship, decided to continue Nathaniel's work. The journals hinted at other paranormal hotspots, places where the veil between the worlds was thin and creatures of legend roamed free. With Lysa's unique perspective and Clara's determination, they set out on a mission to find and protect these places, ensuring that the knowledge and power they held didn't fall into the wrong hands. As the months turned into years, Clara and Lysa traveled the country, their adventures taking them to places most could only dream of. They encountered spirits and creatures of all kinds, forging alliances and facing challenges that tested their resolve. But through it all, the shadow of the Skinwalker leader loomed large. While they had managed to thwart his plans in Boise, he was still out there, biding his time, waiting for his next opportunity. The story ends with Clara and Lysa standing on a cliff, overlooking a vast expanse of wilderness. The sun was setting, casting long shadows on the ground, and the two of them, silhouetted against the horizon, looked out at the world before them, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. In the distance, a lone wolf howled, its call echoing through the valley. The Skinwalker leader was still out there, but Clara and Lysa were ready. The battle for the Oregon Trail was over, but the war had just begun. If you have enjoyed our paranormal scary story about skinwalkers along the Oregon Trail, please visit us at Paranormal Untold Stories. Come to listen to more of our scary stories collection. Paranormal Untold Stories encourages you to contact us if you have your own untold story that you would like our professional team to put online as a scary story. Thank you. Please follow our YouTube channel, Paranormal Untold Stories, and encourage others to do the same. Paranormal Untold Stories.